Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Enterprise Group's channel, a vision to be the largest specialized equipment rental organization with some big news we're going to be discussing today. Joining us is the Senior Vice President, Desmond O'Kell. Welcome back, sir.
Hey, Kyle, how are you today?
Living the dream, brother, and it's always a pleasure to have you on. We got lots to dive into, primarily with these two major new service agreements. So we're going to break these down into parts. First big news is that Enterprise Group starts a 2-year support service agreement with a tier 1 petroleum producer locked in for 2 years. And when we know what's going on in the oil market, give us some insights into what you're providing and what exactly is going on with this agreement.
Yeah, sure. These are master services agreements that are pretty normal way of doing business. It's having equipment available, pricing locked in for a period of time. These are good times to do that. Obviously, we've got there's an increased demand for things, so it's a time to reset some pricing as well, which is going to benefit the company certainly throughout the time of this arrangement. What's interesting about these clients is these are foreign clients that have assets here in Western Canada. And what's been interesting the last little bit is, the foreign players have been a little bit quiet here lately, and they're coming in with some very nice development plans. So obviously the metrics and what's happening in the world and supply and what have you, obviously this isn't a surprise, but it's nice to see some of these tier 1 foreign players that do have fairly significant assets here in Canada. They're coming back for development.
Yeah, so on that note, because there are 2 contracts, and one of them is a supply and service agreement, and you're talking about these international players coming into Alberta. Can you just further expand on exactly like what kind of services are you providing? Like what equipment rental are you seeing from them? How big at scale do these impact your business? Anything that you can touch on without crossing too many, NDA forms.
Yeah, you bet. Well, these, interesting enough, these are an indication of what we had talked about before on an interview, where we're expanding our offerings to certain support. We're now starting to support not only completions, which has been pretty much a focus of the company over the years, but drilling and, of course, plant and facility builds and things like that. And, of course, water support. Like I said in a previous interview, there's a tremendous amount of water that's used in these completions locations, and they use a great deal of water. There's a ton of logistics that goes along with that, and we're bringing in the power systems, the natural gas power systems to support that water supply. So these 2 new arrangements that we have are for that full basket of services: drilling, completions, water support, and of course plant and facility builds. These are areas that are going to be very active given what's happening in the energy sector here in Canada. It's back on to a degree that we're quite pleased about.
Yeah, I was going to say we're really living in almost a new commodities renaissance with the volatility in tech and what's going on across the market. It seems to be very boding well in the commodities sector. Do you want to just kind of iterate a little bit on kind of your exposure to that market? Is that a market that you're chasing heavily right now as it starts expanding drastically with these new margins coming into set? What other aspects of your business, are playing off of that?
Well, the world, you call it volatility and what have you, and there's several things at play here. But what seems to be happening in the marketplace is there's a supply issue. I don't want to get too granular into that, but obviously development of these reserves that are happening. We have a great deal of it here in the Western Basin. Commodity prices, how do they affect us? Well, the activity in the sector here is really opening up because of commodity prices. They came from quite a low during the Canadian energy lull that we had over the years. Everybody has refined and retuned their businesses to deal with those lower commodity prices and activity levels. And then, of course, once that happens, these commodity prices go up. We've got costs down through the refining of these businesses, producers and services. And then you get the ability to create a tremendous amount of cash flow, which our clients are just enjoying tremendously at the moment. And of course, that allows them to return some more capital to the shareholders and, have a fairly good capex to develop and continue to increase production. So we're caught in that. We're the pick and shovel service to a gold rush, and that's really where we are at the moment. So we're benefiting terrifically. We have a long list of very, very quality producers that operate here in Western Canada, and their activity levels we're experiencing just higher and higher activity levels. What does that mean for us? Well, we've got more activity and more billing and more revenue, and of course, I mentioned earlier we're expanding our support services to them, and that's also creating some growth patterns for us as well.
Yeah, that's incredible to hear. I really feel like Enterprise Group is setting up to be, like you said, like the pick and shovels business that kind of doesn't get the downside risk necessarily from oil or some of these commodities dropping, but you get all the upside potential, especially locking in these longer term contracts. But I really appreciate these insights today, Desmond. This is awesome news. Thanks so much for coming out.
Thank you.
On that note, folks, let us know what you think in that comment section below. We'd love to hear what you guys think about the commodities market, Enterprise Group, and consider subscribing, because as that news comes down the wire and we get to hear more good news coming out of Enterprise, we'll be delivering it right here. So stay cool, stay awesome. And as always, I look forward to catching you in the next one.